Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, that's loud enough, I think. Okay. So what we're going to do when we start is we're going to have a kirtan, but we're going to get in front of the deities and dance, not just sit down and go to sleep. No cartels though. Cartels don't fit in. Drums are fine. You can play 2 or 3 drums. Or 10 drums if you want. Yeah, drums. If you have more drums, it's good. You only have 1 drum? So you can have 2 drums, 3 drums, 10 drums, whatever you want. Drums are good with the guitar, but cartels don't fit. Krishna Kristaya Mutale Nante Akhirananda Savini Amame Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Shyam Sundarana, Shyam Sundaragate. Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan, Radha, Madan Mohan Ragate. Jaya Radha, Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Hare Bo, Vivo, Ujibo, Divo, Jago, Divo, Divo. Nichago, Hatibo, Haribo, Haribo, Hatibo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Paravatikacharya, also Teta Satashi Shimad. His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anandakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Swayam Mukunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Mathuradam Ki Jai. Jagadada Swami Ki Jai. Munamai Ki Jai. Srimati Lassi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vasaya Budale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Namaste Anybody Paschatya Desha Tarani. Okay. It's a little exercise for the beginning. See, it's 11:43 already. Oh, we only have an hour and a quarter to the first session. See, not too much time. So, welcome everybody. Please sit in a circle to empathic communication. They can turn on that speaker now. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Not too much. Hare Krishna. Okay. Welcome to Empathic Communication, where we learn how to make your life miserable. We're going to learn that right now. That's the first lesson of today. So, Om Ganatu Mirandasha, Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. No, actually, we're going to learn it's on those speakers anyway, so you can just not have it so loud. So actually, we're going to learn how to be happy, self-realized, go back to Godhead, without having to chant Hare Krishna. Yeah, we won't have to. You don't have to chant Hare Krishna to go back to Godhead. So I'm sure you youth will appreciate that when a youth disappeared. So anyways, isn't that nice? Don't have to chant. So you're going to find out why you don't have to chant and you can still be Krishna conscious. And you don't have to eat prasadam. And you don't have to offer obeisances. You don't have to listen to your parents. What else do we have to do? You don't have to wake up early in the morning. You don't have to wear a dhoti. You don't have to go to the temple. You don't, what else? Anything else we don't have to do? What? You don't have to not offend the devotee. Yeah, you don't have to, well, it's double N. You don't have to not offend devotees. It's interesting, double N. Double negative. So it's really nice, it's freedom, complete freedom. I mean, I would have loved it in the 1960s when I grew up, where do your own thing. If it feels good, it's good for you. That's not what I'm proposing, but anyway. So the first thing is we just do a little, I guess like an icebreaker. We're going to describe how to make yourself miserable. Because In the end, we're going to talk about how to be happy and self-fulfilled without doing any of those things. But here's, actually being miserable is a really art form. So it's important you all try to understand how to be miserable. Here's the first point. And maybe we'll do a demonstration on this. One is think and talk about yourself as much as possible. Can someone demonstrate that? No one, everyone's shy here. I guess I have to do it since everyone is too shy to do it. Because everyone's embarrassed about public opinion, right? That's part of Indian culture, you know, part of the ABCD thing. Parents are always telling you, what will everybody say? You ever hear that one? What my friends say about me, you know, because it's always like people talk behind the back about things. So I'm not embarrassed. So think and talk about, all right, so here, you know, I'm so miserable, even though, well, what should I be miserable about? The material world is so bad. Oh, it's a place of suffering. Oh, nobody listens to me. Even disciples don't listen to me. Nobody knows how to cook for me. I got to do everything myself. I got to do laundry myself. Nobody cooperates with me. I'm pretty miserable. So that's one of the things. You can remember that next time you start talking about yourself, I, me. Next way to make yourself miserable, wait for the situation to be right before you do have a good time. Everything has to be perfect. Next one is you live in the past. I remember the good old days when I joined the movement. It was so nice that, you know, there were a lot of brahmacharis around, no R1 workers, indentured servants. So it was just very nice to know. What else was there? There was no like fanatic people in the movement. Everything was just like really sweet. And nowadays it's just like all this bureaucracy and everything. You know, join the GBC and everything was just very sweet before, and now everything is bureaucracy, all these forms to fill out, all this legal stuff. Live in the past. That's living in the past. Then you compare yourself to others. Okay? Let me pick a victim for this. Munajivan, well, I can compare myself. You know, here I am, a poor sannyasi, and you have a job, you have a nice family. Oh my God, sannyasi. Anyway. No, but actually, he can compare himself to me. He said, I have to work real hard. What do I get from it?
I don't have a Tesla.
Yeah, I don't have a Tesla. You have a Tesla. You don't have to pay any. Well, I do have to pay bills. But anyway, it just makes yourself miserable. Oh, she has such a. You know, another thing is that. What is that called? The day before the marriage, where the women come and show their saris off. What's that? In India, there's this thing. The day before the marriage there's where all the ladies dress in their finest saris. I forget. Anyway, whatever it is, that she has a nicer sari than me. Keeping up with the dasas. Or dasis. Try to make other people happy. Talk yourself out of stuff you'd really like to do. Say yes when you mean no. And finally, believe you don't deserve to be happy. So if you follow these rules, then you won't be happy. So anyway, and then we start with Krishna consciousness, empathic communication. Here's a quote from Srila Prabhupada, which is a good way to start. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 21st chapter, text 31. Showing compassion to all living entities, you will attain self-realization. Giving assurance of safety to all, you will perceive your own self as well as all the universes in me and myself and you. So this is actually a prerequisite to becoming Krishna conscious and becoming happy, being compassionate with others, and also compassionate towards yourself. So now I'm going to explain what empathy is and what empathy is not, because we're talking about empathic communication. So first of all, we should understand that empathy, this course is not meant to teach you how to manage others. It's not a management tool. So if you're in a management role and you get too empathic, get some feedback here. If you get too empathic, you'll probably lose your job. So please, this is in interpersonal dealings. Of course, in a Hare Krishna management role, we should be empathic with everybody. But in the business field, it's a little bit different. Sometimes you got to fire someone because they're not performing or don't want to perform. It's not that you say, I think you have a need for understanding. Like that. So anyway, it's not a management tool. The goal of what we're teaching is how to connect with others. That's all. Nothing else. How to connect with others. And in this way, help ourselves and help others. And actually connect with ourselves. Because all of us have certain needs, which are mentioned here. So we have needs for, where's the other one? Physical nurturance. These are the basic needs. Air, food, movement, protection from life-threatening devotees. Viruses, bacteria, and predatory devotees. And rest and shelter and touch and water. These are basic physical needs that we have. And then we have a need for play, fun, and laughter, a need to be authentic, creative, self-worth, a need for celebration, even celebrating losses when we lose someone, a need for making our own decisions in life. You ABCDs will understand this one. That we have our own life to live. I have one friend who went to medical school because his parents wanted him to be a doctor. And so he graduated from medical school, and then he decided, I'm not going to be a doctor, but I did this for you. In other words, he wasted like 6 or 8 years of his life. And so choose one's plan for fulfilling one's dreams, goals, and values. So it's really important to have our own autonomy and actually facilitate the autonomy in others. And then interdependence. We have a society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We do have a need for acceptance and appreciation, closeness and community and all those things. And love and respect, support, trust, understanding, and warmth. These are all basic human needs. If we want to be happy, all these needs need to be realized. And first of all, this is a very selfish system I'm teaching right now. Take care of yourself. Because if you don't fulfill these, and of course, forgive me, I left out spirituality, Krishna consciousness, most important. Peace, inspiration, beauty, and Krishna. Like that. So if we don't fulfill those needs, we won't be able to be compassionate or empathic with other people. So compassion and empathy begins at home. understanding your needs, and understanding, once you understand your needs, understanding other people's needs. So this is the whole principle that we're teaching. First of all, there's self-empathy, in which we observe ourselves internally and externally, and we are honest with our feelings, and then connect our feelings with needs. For example, if I have a feeling of hunger, then what do I need? Does anyone know? No one knows. Food! Everyone's so shy here, you know. We're going to have some chili peppers for the next session. Hot chili peppers. So anyway, so we connected with the needs. If I'm hungry, I need food. If I'm lonely, I need association. I'm feeling depressed. I mean, it can indicate any one of these things. Depressed, my parents are trying to force me to do things I don't want to do. So I'm depressed. So next time, here's an example how you can deal with your parents. That next time your parents ask you to do something that you don't want to do, it doesn't fulfill your need for autonomy or your need for authenticity, you just tell them, my dear parents, I'm feeling depressed because I have a need for autonomy. See how far that goes. And then most likely your parents will say, where did you pick up this language from? And then you can say, I picked it up from Bir Krishna Goswami. He's an authority. And the parents will say, yeah, yes, okay. He said, don't offend a Vaishnava. You know, I'm telling you a methodology of disobeying your parents right now. You just tell your parents that Vaishnava said that to me, taught me this, and so I'm following Vaishnavas now. And then your parents will just have to keep quiet. Is that your father sitting next to you? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I gave away the whole technique. So really that's it. Whatever we do is inspired by a desire to fulfill needs. However we feel, whatever we do. And then once we understand our needs, then we can facilitate, there's ourselves, a strategy, figure out a strategy to fulfill that need, or all the needs, and then we may make requests of ourselves or make requests of others to fulfill that particular need. That's empathic communication in a nutshell. So the whole idea is to have, ultimately when we fulfill our own needs, is to have cooperative communities of compassionate people. Whoops. Someone's phone. Please leave the phone off. That reminds me I better turn my phone off. And so here's some whiffins. Whiffin means what you get from learning empathic communication. First one I already explained, which is to free yourself, okay, we should do some sort of interchange right now. It's just to get some more people cooperating with each other. So do we have the flip chart? Okay, so I want participation from as many of you who want to participate. Can anyone volunteer a list of things that you have to do in life? Okay, here we go. Now we're going to make your life, clean your bathroom. This will make your life really miserable. And when we finish, as I mentioned before, you won't have to do any of these things. Clean the bathroom. Chant. Feed the kids. Feed the little goats. That's what kids means in English, goats. Cook. What? Anything else? What?
Make money.
Make money. Yeah, work. Or make money. Pay bills. Anything else you have to do? Interact with humans? Who would you rather interact with? Interact with humans. What's another one?
Grocery shopping.
Grocery shopping. What about some of the youth? Go to school? No? Anything? What? Go to school, listen to your parents?
Talk to my wife.
Is she here?
No, she's not. How generous I get. Talk to my spouse.
Yeah, now you're getting real.
You have to lie a lot.
To lie a lot.
Lie a lot.
Oh my God. Is that when you're talking to your spouse?
Lots of places you have to lie.
Oh my God.
Laundry.
Laundry. You do laundry. Okay, I can do my own laundry. No problem. Okay, you're going to flip it and we get some more?
Read
Well,
Prabhupada books.
read Prabhupada's books. Yeah, what you have to do.
Worship the deities.
Oh my God.
Serve the Vaishnavas.
Serve the Vaishnavas.
Distribute Prabhupada's books. Bhadra Purnima.
Bhadra. Well, he's really in trouble here. So remember, I'm using the word have to do right now.
I think have to mean something which you don't like to do, but
Yeah, you have to do. You have to do. It's a duty. Let's say, not necessarily that you don't like to do it, but it's a duty. It's a duty. Obligation. What? Have to spend money. That's kind of fun.
you have to spend money.
Well, that's more making money. Spending money is kind of fun, Oh, their expenses, yeah, something like that. I get it. Teach the children? What? Prepare for class. Have to wake up. I thought we did have that.
No, we don't have that.
Wake up early. I thought someone said that before.
Breathe.
No, breathe. Breathe. You don't have to breathe. What's that?
They have me mentally and physically.
Homework.
Maharaj, you said have to stay healthy physically and mentally, so
Yeah,
I have to work out,
yeah, work out,
exercise.
exercise. Do we have enough, or you want more? Obligations is what? Serving.
I have to serve.
You have to serve. Serve is an obligation. How about some of you ladies listen to your husband?
No,
You don't.
that's old school.
That's old school. Okay. How about some of you men listen to your wives?
Old and new and future school. Listen to what?
Changing of the guard.
He started that one. Okay, any other ones? Otherwise, we'll explain what I'm talking about. I think that's it. That's enough for right now.
Stick it up.
Yeah, somehow or other stick it up. So the point is, when we get finished, we're going to relieve you of all these have-tos. You won't have to listen to your wife anymore. You won't have to clean the bathroom. You won't have to feed the kids. You won't have to worship the deities. You won't have to spend money. I'm not saying you won't do those things. There's a difference. But you're going to do it with a different energy. Instead of the have to energy, we're going to go to the choose to gladly energy. And you'll be happy when you do it if you learn empathic communication. You'll be happy to listen to your wife. Let me give you an example why you'd be happy to listen to your wife, because that was the toughest one. You want to hang that up?
What was the point of that?
I'll give you a brief lesson of why are you going to be happy to listen to your wife. And I'll actually compare it to a situation that I have. Of course, obviously, I have no wife. But we have a lot of, sorry if I offend anyone, we have a lot of problematic devotees who come to the movement. You know, people with challenges. We're not going to say crazy. We're not going to say lazy. We're not going to say useless, hopeless, dysfunctional. So we have a lot of challenging people that I have to interact with and listen to. Just like you have a lot of challenging wives or wife that you have to listen. You know-it-all wives, right? So educated wives. Whereas, practically, the real system is the wife should just be in the kitchen, keep her mouth closed until... This is what I was taught in ISKCON. The wife should just, what do they say, barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen. And that's about it. But unfortunately, a lot of these ladies are educated, and they know better than you about a lot of things. So, said I was going to offend people. So anyway, I have to listen, or I do listen to, I'm not going to use the expression have to. I listen to a lot of people who, it's really challenging. So what do I do to maintain my own sanity and to get out of the have-to energy? That's the question. What I do is, first of all, I take care of my own needs. And I have my own time apart from interacting with everybody, because if I was interacting with all the people that I interact with on a daily basis for 12 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours, or 24 hours a day, I'd go crazy. So therefore, I have my own time where I can recuperate, take care of my own needs, whether the need is for rest or the needs for recreation. And then when I'm dealing with someone like that, I'm dealing with them with the mood of trying to help them, first of all. And even if I can't help them, then my need for learning something about human nature is met. Because I have learned so much dealing with devotees, aspiring devotees, whatever you may call them, sorry, that I could have a triple PhD in psychology by now. You know, sometimes I read these psychological texts and I say, wow, I already knew that. So ISKCON is an educational institution. Free. Well, not free. You pay for it. Well, you pay for it. You don't pay for it with money. You pay for it with blood, sweat, and tears. So ISKCON is an educational institution where you actually learn more about psychology. It's really nice. And you learn tolerance. So I take it like that. Wow, I'm learning tolerance dealing with you. Not anyone here in particular. I'm learning tolerance, I'm learning compassion. Things that are important to me. How to learn these things. As long as I have that quality time or time out for myself, dealing with my own needs, it's wonderful. I'm not saying to Krishna, bring it on. Send me more. No. I'm not like Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti said, Tatra, Tatra, Jagat Guru, please, again and again, send me miseries so I don't see repeated birth and death. But I'm appreciating, I'm seeing Krishna sent this person. As we mentioned yesterday, and I don't know if I have that quote here, but there's a quote from Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, and I'm just basically going to paraphrase it. You should basically see everyone that Krishna sends to you as being sent to you and thinking that you may live the rest of your life with that person. So really, it's important to see like that, but you need to have your own time to just like recuperate from dealing with those things. So anyway, so the methodology of dealing with the have-tos is to change it to choose to, and you choose to by understanding your own needs. That's it, briefly, empathic communication. Other things you gain from empathic communication is resolving conflicts easily, creating social structures that support everyone's needs being met, and first of all, we're going to describe what empathy is. Empathy in terms of self-empathy and empathy in terms of empathy for others. Whoop, lights, camera, action. So, empathy for ourselves and for others is presence, being present, being introspective for ourselves. Whoops, that's fine. Let there be light. And there was light. Care, wonder, intention, and no analysis. No, let's say, intellectual analysis, but analysis focusing on needs and feelings. And that is very important when we're dealing with others, and we hear words that may stimulate some negative feeling or some painful feeling. I don't want to say negative. Painful feeling in our hearts. We see beyond the words to try to understand someone's feelings and their needs. For example, I'll give you an example. Let's someone Someone should come up here and insult me right now. No one wants to do it. Okay, one.
This is my third time doing this with you.
Okay.
You're really old.
Well, that's true. It's not an insult.
You haven't shaved your eyebrows, Maharaj. You're like me. You gotta be clean, Maharaj.
You shave your eyebrows? You actually do that? What?
Trim.
Oh, all right, shave, yeah. Look kind of weird. So he just said, all right, let's say he insulted me. It's really funny. It's a funny thing. It's not even an insult. But let's say it was an insult. Okay, if I hear his words, I'm really old. And haven't shaved my eyebrows. See how I naturally just touched the eyebrows as soon as he said that? So what I do is I hear not so much what he's saying, but I hear that he's experiencing anger. Okay. And what is his need?
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
And beauty.
And beauty. All right, so he has a need for cleanliness and beauty. And it's not my responsibility to fulfill that need. That's your wife's responsibility. Not mine. So you take responsibility for your own feelings and needs. And whatever he's going through has to do with his own life. It has nothing to do with me. Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So, and I'm not dependent. If I'm fulfilling my needs, these different basic human needs, I'm not dependent on you to fulfill my needs. That's why I said one has to work on their own needs first. Because if your needs are fulfilled, anyone can come up to you and insult you, well, make my day, Then it's just interesting. Instead I go into a mood of analyzing you. That, was your mother nice to you?
She made me clean all the time.
Yes, she made you clean all the time. Does your wife also make you clean? So instead, it just becomes interesting. Because here I'm dealing with an angry person. I'm trying to understand him. Because he can't... I have other strategies to fulfill my needs. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I can be more or less neutral with his attempts to insult me. So it's really good as far as interpersonal dealings are concerned. That you're just not affected by insults. Generally if we're insulted, we want to insult back. And this actually destroys communities. So, here's another question. Why is it that we see religious people exhibiting compassion and other times anger? Why did we see in religious organizations that there's more fighting? Why do we see between religious organizations, not only the actions within religious organizations, but between religious organizations, there's more animosity than practically in any other segment of the world, except for U.S. politics right now? Why do we see that? Does anyone know? Why do we see that even in our ISKCON society, which is supposed to be, love and trust and cooperation, Prabhupada said, if you really love me, you'll cooperate, and we find all these injunctions about love and trust. Why do we see so much bickering, so much disagreement, so many disagreements? Anybody have any ideas? Ignorance, all right, that's good. Ignorance, ego, ignorance of what? Deep connection, yeah, that is actually true. But the primary reason, and actually there's been an analysis of religious organizations, which is very interesting, which also applies to us, that in something like 80% of the people in religious organizations are less compassionate than the general populace. It's pretty interesting. 80% of the members of religious organizations are less compassionate than the general populace. 20% are more compassionate or empathic. There's certain psychological measures of compassion. So 20% are more compassionate, 80% are less compassionate. The reason is that in religious organizations, and we did this exercise the other day, we have more ways of labeling people than non-religious people do. Can anyone think, I'm not going to do the flip chart right now, of any ways that we have of labeling people in Krishna consciousness? What? Non-devotee, karmi. I even mentioned before that we call clothes karmi clothes. Can you imagine? You have devotee clothes on, so you must be a devotee. And so so we have karmi clothes, and then there's meat eaters, malechas, yavanas, rakshasas, demons. What other words? Atheists, infidels. That's not really one of our words usually. Kafirs. So what? Neophyte. You know, we have such a wonderful vocabulary in Krishna consciousness that really enables us to put labels on people. It's really nice. You know, you're a neophyte, you're puffed up, you're Ganesha, stupid woman. Less intelligent, they say less intelligent. Less intelligent, you're, what do they say about men? Is there anything they say about men? No. It must be something about men. What? Grihamati? But something specifically about men, a gender one. Proud, a chauvinist. Yeah, you're a chauvinist, you're a male chauvinist. A sexist, male chauvinist. What? Heartless. Too analytical. Conservative. Liberal. Mental, yeah, you're a mental case. So we got all these nice labels. But the thing is, these labels in Krishna consciousness were attempting to give up what's called upadhis. An upadhi, it means a label. You know that verse, Sarva Padhi Vinir Muktam Tatpatatwena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Now Krishna consciousness means to reject labels. And we have more labels. And we also have positive labels too. Pure devotee, sannyasi, guru, paramahansa, advanced devotee. And even those, what we call positive labels, disconnect us from each other. Because we see in terms of the label. We mentioned the other day, but actually most of you weren't there at that particular time. This is what politicians do. Particularly, there's one politician in the United States who should remain nameless. His name starts with a T. So he's so expert in using labels. if he has an opponent, he gives them the really funny label. And then everyone sees that opponent in terms of the label. What was the label he used on Hillary Clinton? Was it cheating Hillary or something like that? Anyone remember? Anyway. But you see, not only that you feel, you understand intellectually, but you see the person, it's a visual label. Let's say if I give who can I give a visual label to? You're bald-headed guy. Hey, Baldy. I'm going to give him the Baldy. How'd you marry that Baldy guy?
He's clean though.
I'm just going to refer to him as Baldy from now on. So it's really powerful. You're going to remember that. You're going to remember that. Every time you see him now, for the next few years, it's Baldy. It's very powerful. Because, I'm sorry about that one. Because images, it's an image. Baldy, bald head. Images have a way of cementing themselves into our psyche more than theoretical words. So when we use these images, what we call diagnoses in empathic communication, it's one of the blocks of communication, we don't forget it. We just don't forget it. And we see the person, instead of being a person with his own feelings and needs in terms of that. I mean, I can think of someone, and Leo Shakti will know this, someone in North Carolina, many people in North Carolina. People come, they're really challenged in the temple, and it's just like, I just put the label on, insane. Cuckoo! And then every time I see him, I think, cuckoo. There's cuckoo, coming. But people change. What is that story? Oh, yeah. Okay, here's an interesting story told by HH Maharaj. There was a person, they would go on Sankirtan in Paris. Such an interesting story. And there was a person living in the bushes, and they gave them the name Pigpen. So, all right, it was always Pigpen this, Pigpen that, Pigpen. So one day, the devotees went with Prabhupada, you know the story, of course. They went with Prabhupada on a walk, and Pigpen, even I'm calling him Pigpen, jumped out of the bushes, tried to touch Prabhupada's feet, and the devotees prevented him from touching Prabhupada's feet. Then they went back to the temple, and by the time they get to the temple, Pigpen was in the temple. And Pigpen, whoops, went over here. Okay. Sort of slipped. Pigpen was in the temple, and they said, you have to leave. And somehow or other Prabhupada wouldn't let them get rid of him. So he stayed in the temple. To make a long story short, eventually they just put him to the service of cleaning the temple, and eventually he jumped into the Sankirtan van because he wanted to go with the devotees on Sankirtan. And they went on Sankirtan, and Pigpen, he grabbed the books while everyone was eating prasadam and went out and distributed books and came back, and he had no books left in his book bag. And they said to him, Pigpen, what did you do? And he said, I distributed books. And they said, how do you distribute all those books? And he said, I simply told people, Prabhupada saved me. So, okay. So fast forward a few years later, they visit one of the temples, and there's Pigpen giving a very nice Bhagavatam class. His name was Rasada, very nice devotee. I know he passed away actually probably about 2 or 3 years ago. He became a good Sankirtan devotee and actually very intelligent. So you put that label on someone, but Prabhupada didn't consider someone in terms of their labels. Otherwise, he would have called us all in the early days dirty hippies, useless personalities. And Prabhupada just saw the soul. And that's really how we have to interact with people. And so, unfortunately, we have all these different designations, and we have to see beyond the designations. Yeah, yeah, you can ask a question. You can interrupt me anytime.
So back to the concept of why we have so many, such less empathy within the religious organization.
Yeah.
Our labels, that we have more labels and more judgment.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking about, it seems like we have a high demand environment. There's more pressure in a religious environment to conform, to follow rules and regulations. So it seems like there's more pressure on ourselves, more self-judgment, more feelings that we're dealing with on our own. That's causing it, that pressure is causing us to put more labels on others. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, there's more of the have-tos there. What are demands? So we're going to go over that later. There's demands, too, and there's diagnosis. We just touched upon two of the, what we call the D's of discommunication. One is demands that we put on ourselves, demands we put on others, and we'll go over what a demand is with more technicality in a little while. Demands we put on ourselves, and also the diagnoses, the labels we put on others. So those are two very important concepts. Yeah, and religious organization. So the question is how to overcome these things. That's a really heavy question because we do need to know definitively, what is a devotee, what is not a devotee. We do need to have a sense of discrimination insofar as dealing with people, who is qualified to go on the altar, who is not qualified to go on the altar. Who should I associate with? Who should I not associate with? So on that level, we do need to have that sort of discrimination and the diagnoses. But on a deeper level, we have to be sort of schizophrenic, in that way. We have to function on different levels. Just like Prabhupada functioned on different levels. He was a perfect gentleman with people. And it wasn't just an act. He was a gentleman, and he was caring. At the same time, Prabhupada knew that this person is eating meat, but he didn't use the designation or the diagnosis. He thought, or we can think in terms of, let us say, instead of static labels, dynamic labels. This person is doing this, but he's not a meat eater. This person is eating meat, but he's not a meat eater. This person is not worshiping Krishna, but he's not a karmi. He's not a vikarmi. Actually, the technical term would be vikarmi for most people, rather than karmi. So he's not a vikarmi, he's not a karmi. But we have to understand, right now, he's acting in the karmic sphere. So you use process language. Process language means instead of labeling someone with the verb to be, you say this person is doing this. And so what I would usually do, or try to do, when I'm dealing with someone outside of the Krishna consciousness movement, presently outside of the Krishna consciousness, not thinking of him as an outsider, I'll say this person is a devotee, because this is a real designation, not simply an upadi. Everyone is a devotee of Krishna. Everyone. There's not a single person anywhere who is not a single animal, not a single bug that's not a devotee of Krishna. So when you see that little cockroach crawling across your floor, there's a devotee. It's hard. Let me smash him. Spray him with... just like the other day, I was fixing something to the temple, and there were all these, wasps, hornets, whatever you may call them, there. And I said, get a spray can and spray them. But I was thinking, we're spraying all these devotees with poison. But how do I deal with it? Right now, they're not acting as devotees. So when I see someone, I think, here is someone who has forgotten that he's a devotee. But inherently, he is a devotee. Inherently, he's a pure devotee. But right now, he's acting in such a way that he's not acting according to his real nature. So my business is at least dealing with human beings, not with cockroaches. But my duty is to actually, duty happily performed, is to try to waken him up to his real identity. So he's a person who has forgotten Krishna. That's all. Instead of a non-devotee, and it's a lot sweeter, and that's how Prabhupada would deal with people. And if you look at expert book distributors like Vaisheshika Prabhu, that's how he deals with people. That's why people love him. It was actually here in Chicago, I went on book distribution with him, and he was like a magnet. And I was trying to get one person to stop. Finally, I got a little old lady to stop and talk to me. But he waved to people who were in their cars, and they stopped their cars, and he just gave them 3 or 4 books, and they gave him the money immediately. Because he was going around and meeting friends. And people feel like that when they interact with him. So that's an expert book distributor, right? Someone who can interact on that level. So obviously he's not labeling people, but he has to be aware that these people are acting in such a way that's counterproductive to their own spiritual life, and my business is to bring them back. So who else has a question here?
So Maharaj, the needs, I can understand the spirituality, autonomy, and all of those, I can satisfy those needs. But some of those interdependence ones like community and understanding, seems like it might depend on somebody else too?
Yeah, but yes, we obviously depend on other people, but we can not depend on any particular individual, because then we're demanding that of that one individual. We need community. Obviously, you can't just I'm in my own community. I mean, in one sense, you are your own community. You got all these living entities within your body. You got the microbes, right? And you got the bacteria, so you are no, but that's not what I'm referring to. But let's say, if Baldy here doesn't want to be my friend, Baldy, remember that? It's going to stick. If he doesn't want to be my friend, maybe someone else, you'll be my friend. I can choose. I'm not dependent on one person to fulfill my needs. And even that's important once one is married. It's not that one thinks, if you don't want to be my wife, someone else will be. That's not what I'm referring to. That's not what I'm referring to. But generally, within a marriage, the person is thinking, at least in the beginning, some of you can correct me if I'm wrong, when you first get married, you think the other person is going to fulfill all my needs, all my emotional needs, all my financial needs, all my needs. This is love. And, and then the other person is thinking, oh my God, this person is 24 hours a day. And the wife says, you never understand me. You hear this all the time. So
That's when they lose all their hair.
yeah, that's what you had plenty of hair before you got married, yeah. And the women grow more hair. So, what is that? What is that funny saying? That, okay, men and women get married, and the men are thinking the woman's not going to change, and the woman's thinking the man's going to change. And that's the opposite occurs. Right? So basically, I mean seriously, that you have all these different demands on each other, especially, so therefore, each partner in a relationship like that has to look for other ways. Let's say you have a need for recreation. I mean, your wife may not like cricket, right? So, and she does things, I don't know what she does, that you may not, relate to. She may want to take you to the opera or something like that. Or something. I don't know what it is. But then she has to have her own circle of friends. She can look for her own circle of friends to fulfill certain ones of those needs. But if our need fulfillment is focused on one particular individual, it destroys a relationship. It can destroy marriage. People have other interests in life, and not all of your interests are the same interests as your wife has. Right? And not all of your children's interests are the same interests as your interests. So they have to have their own association, their own life. It's a very important point. So, yeah, thank you for asking that question. Yes, it's our responsibility to fulfill these needs with other people. But we get to choose, it doesn't work with this person, we get to choose that with another person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, anyone else have a question? Yes. Oh, who's first?
Hare Krishna. I really liked what you were saying about anger.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could expand on that more. And you were also mentioning how certain people can be never offended by anything. And you gave an example. So is it just focusing on the cause of why that person is saying it, something in their past that's causing it? Or is that really the approach one should take?
Okay, let's do a demonstration. I think we need to do the 4-chair demonstration right now. So why don't we just stick 4 chairs there? I think people can remember the labels. Right, so this chair is blaming you. This chair is blaming myself or ourselves. This chair is empathy with myself, and this chair is empathy with you. Well, there's a hole in the chair. Okay. Oh, you're going to label them? Okay. Blame you. Someone's going to have to sit in it. Probably me. I hope this ink doesn't run. Okay. How we deal with an angry person who is saying things to us that may stimulate different emotions. Okay. Okay, do you want to do the insult thing, Baldy, again? Yeah, think of something more creative. Yeah. All right. So, okay.
Maharaj, you're so, frivolous. You're not serious in life. You're singing with a guitar and not using traditional instruments. What is this, Maharaj?
Okay, so first is blame you.
Spoiling
Whoop.
ISKCON.
Just sit on it. You're just really proud and just fanatic, and you're stupid. I mean, you can't appreciate and understand how to adjust things according to time, place, and circumstance. I mean, it's just like, what is your training in Krishna consciousness?
Do you not read Prabhupada's books, Maharaj?
You don't know anything about Prabhupada's books. You're an Yeah, I'm not going to say this. I don't want to say. You're useless. You're hopeless. You're hopeless. You're an offender. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, that's blame you. That's one way. I'm not saying that's the way we should respond, but these are the typical ways of responding, and then we'll get to the empathic ways. Okay, say the same thing. This is blame yourself.
Maharaj, you're so frivolous, and you waste time, and you're singing songs on a guitar like a lover of the 1960s. You're spoiling ISKCON.
Yeah, he's right. I'm really useless. I don't chant my rounds properly. I'm just like an offender to the holy name. Oh my God, my whole life is just wasted, horrible. Poor me. Okay. You want try again? Now we go to self-empathy.
Maharaj, you're so frivolous, playing the guitar like, a hippie from the 1960s. You're spoiling ISKCON.
Okay. I'm feeling pain in my heart from this. And that is because I definitely have a need for appreciation, a need for understanding, a need for loving relationships. Once I actually connect with my needs, at that particular point I feel peaceful. It's not him anymore. It's my needs are not being fulfilled. I'm taking responsibility. I'm not denying my responsibility. I'm taking responsibility for my feelings. Okay, and the next one, just one more insult, is empathy for others.
Maharaj, you're so frivolous, and You waste time, and you're like a lovebird from the 1960s.
A lovebird?
Yeah.
What's a lovebird?
With your guitar.
So
You're spoiling ISKCON.
So before I can respond to him with empathy for him, I will actually do this empathy for myself. That yeah, I have a need for connection. Yeah, I'm feeling pain in my heart from what he's saying. I have a need for connection. I have a need for love. I have a need for understanding. I have a need for respect. And this is not fulfilling, obviously. But once I connect with my own needs, I feel peaceful, then I can think, oh, not that I tell him. If I told him directly, you are angry because you have a need for love, or you have a need for understanding. See how I'm saying that? I don't say that to him because that would actually precipitate him getting angrier if I were to say that to him. So instead, I'll reflect my own empathic response, my own understanding. He is angry. And this way connect with him with my bodily language. And maybe I'd even go up to him and say, I understand. Ah, isn't that cute? So, he feels satisfied because I'm not connecting with his feelings and needs. But I can only do that when I go through this. Self-empathy. Okay, maybe we should ask for a volunteer for this one, so we can do this with someone else other than me. Any volunteers? Okay. Okay. No, just stand right there. Right, I'm going to insult you. Oh, what's your name?
Kapil.
Kapil. Okay, Kapil. Why don't you look so sloppy. Sloppy, I mean, you don't shave your face. What is this stupid shirt you're wearing? Oh my God! Cash now! It's a Chinese shirt. You're in America. So how do you feel when I say that? Let's go blame you.
Everything in America is made in China.
Yeah, but, all right, that's true.
I feel great, Maharaj. I feel great. Like, it's okay if I wear, any t-shirt.
Yeah. All right, let's go to blame me. Like, you're going to say something about me. You don't understand me.
Okay. I have to blame you, right?
Yeah.
So.
There's too much etiquette here.
Well, you're mad because you can't wear the clothes.
Your clothes are weirder than mine. You're wearing a dress. What do you...
Yeah, I think, it's, better than what sannyasis wear. So, I think, nobody judges people who wear these kind of t-shirts, so I think.
All right, so
I'll blame you.
It's too much etiquette. Yeah. Yes, and I...
This role is you have to retaliate.
He doesn't want to do it.
You don't know how to do that,
Too
right?
much etiquette.
I'm just reluctant because.
He's scared of going to hell. Okay, so you get that. So then go to the next one. It's called blaming yourself. That means feeling guilty. Okay, that shirt you're wearing came from China. It's not even clean. It's just faded. What to speak of that jacket? What kind of color combination are you wearing?
Oh yeah.
Black and blue and white and some cat or mouse on the front of...
Yeah, actually
This
it's
is
true.
Krishna's temple.
Yeah, what people would be thinking about me. So, like, would people be judging me? Oh my, what should I wear the next time?
So he's feeling guilty. Now, he's good at feeling guilty. Because in India, you're really good at feeling guilty. Guilt feelings just go with the territory, isn't it? Doesn't take much to stir up someone's guilt. Yeah, that's true. Okay, now you go to the next one, self-empathy. Okay, that shirt is really disgusting. And the color combination, black socks, black jacket, white shirt, with some cat on it, or is it a mouse? I can't figure. And, unshaven face, unkempt hair. And your glasses are pretty bad, too. What's wrong with you? So self-empathy.
I understand. These are the only clothes I had. I could only afford these clothes, so other people do not know what my situation is. So I think I'm fine.
So in other words, self-empathy is that, I'm feeling pain by what he said, but, I have a need for understanding because I can't afford anything else.
Yeah.
And I just picked this up at Goodwill one day.
Yes.
Looks like it. So anyway. So then after you've gone through that self-empathy, then here's the empathy for me. So, I've just insulted you. So what is your empathic response towards me? Get in touch with my emotions right now. What are my emotions when I was criticizing you?
Just like there might be some reason you are saying this. Something might have happened to you.
Emotions, feelings.
Like judging, hatred, something
Yeah,
like
but what didn't I have the emotion of anger?
Yeah.
Anger. So see how it's important. This is one thing I want to illustrate, that we need an emotional vocabulary. In other words, generally when we talk about feelings, instead of actually talking about feelings, we go to judgments. Judgment would be something like, I feel you're an idiot. But that's not a feeling, that's a judgment. So he's going towards a judgment immediately. Everybody understands that, rather than to a feeling. But the feelings are right from the heart. That's why I have on this chart the heart. Feelings are not with the brain. The brain is judging things, but the heart is feeling. It's just something, a deep feeling, and here's the feelings. This is a really good vocabulary list for feelings. So my needs were not being met. He could have been aggravated, agitated, anxious, apprehensive, bewildered, all these different feelings, and then those feelings connect to certain needs. That he has a need for understanding, appreciation or acceptance, respect, trust, and understanding. So every feeling is connected with the needs. That's empathic communication, the process. That self-empathy, that he observed what I said, or I observed what he said, and then understanding his feelings, and also after he understands the feelings and understands his needs, understand my feelings and my needs. Feelings are from the heart. Angry, upset, hungry. Oh, hungry's from down there, but that's the same sort of understanding. Okay? All right, it's 1 o'clock right now. So I guess we're supposed to break, right? We'll break until 2. There's prasadam somewhere? Where's the prasadam? Downstairs. Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll continue at 2 o'clock. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.